All right, Dads, how are we? For all the audio listeners, welcome to Anfield Road TV, and for everyone watching on social, on YouTube and Facebook, mad news that we all woke up. I obviously done a show this morning speaking about the news, obviously my instant reactions, but this is all about what you all think in the comment section below, and obviously all around the world. Disappointing news, but this day, as I said in my previous video, was didn't have to come, and we respect the Egan's decision. We love him to bits. And now you obviously, as Jürgen spoke about in his interview, his very long 24-minute interview. And obviously we'll have a press conference at 3 p.m. UK time, GMT today. So I'm joined by Niall. I'm joined by Kev as well. Obviously Spider from Spider LFC. Kev, I get straight to you, and we'll get to Nigel's thoughts as well. Bit of a mad day, bit of a mental news to wake up to.
Yeah, man, I'm devastated for losing him. To be honest with you, I'm not too worried about the team. I'm not too worried about the club as a whole. In comparison to when it was left, in comparison to the way it was left in the tenure under Rodgers and stuff like that, Klopp is after building something. He's after creating something here that's really, really special, and he's after creating such a unit and a mindset within the team that was never there before, or not for a long time, I should say. So I'm not worried about the team. You can see it in Klopp. That Klopp looked tired for the last year or so. He did. He's wasn't his usual. I don't know whether that's down to the rules change or whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kev, last year would have took so much out of him.
Yeah,
in honest. Like there was people last year calling for Klopp's heads in our fan base in certain sections, which was mental. But obviously, you got to respect their decision as well. But it surely, I think that reaffirmed his notion in that interview as you've watched today, mate. That going out on a big win, hopefully, off the back of winning the Premier League, it makes it a lot more easier than, say, if we had another season like last year where it doesn't go right and it potentially one day might have become a bit sour at Liverpool.
Yeah, even at that, yeah, but look, he's going out. He's going out now, and that's not to say that there's not a time for Klopp again in the future. Klopp wants a break from football in general. He wants a break from the whole lot of it. He wants a break from the media. He wants a break from all of it. You can see that's his words. His mind is tired. His energy levels are sapped. When he's started thinking about having to do all of these things all over again, from next season, he just said, "No, I couldn't do it anymore." Now, in saying that, he says, "I'm not going to work in football for at least another year. If that, I want to live my life. I want to do what I want to do, and all that." He's also said that he'll never manage another club in England.
Yeah.
Unless it was only Liverpool. And he'd also said that if he does do a club or a country, it wouldn't be for another year, as I just said before. But maybe Klopp just needs to take this time out to see what happens. He took that time out after Dortmund because that place, was special to him as well when he was there. And but he was straight back into management with us within 6 months. So I think this time he looks like a different sort of tiredness. He looks drained. He looks like he's not he looks like he's still up for doing what he can for Liverpool. But he's seeing past himself. He knows he's not going to be where he is now in the next year or so. So he's taking this opportunity at the right time. Us as fans, man, we get along with. We do what he asks. We don't make it just about him. We support the team. We support the club there. Now we know that there'll be another handful of players leave when he goes as well as that. But that's probably an okay thing as well, with the new management coming in, and it puts the onus on the owners as well to have the right funds ready and available to replace these guys. That will go. But at the same time, here's who's not to say that Klopp won't come back in the future. No, that's not for me. If he wants to come, he just wants a break.
Yeah.
He just signed a new contract and brought him up until, for the extra years and the extension and all that. I think it was going to bring him to 2027. But who's to say that he doesn't put that on pause and say, look, if I take up another job or whatever, look, put that on pause or put the same settings on pause. We might do this down the road in future. Maybe he goes off and manages the Germany team in a year or so. I think that
Yeah.
would be probably the perfect ideal job. But
Yeah.
actually, at the moment, Republic of Ireland are looking for a manager. Jurgen, man, if you're not doing anything for a while, we take you. But
Yeah. I'd
yeah,
agree,
but,
man.
yeah,
It's going to be very difficult, and you're spot on there, Kev, what you said, la. Get Nigel's thoughts as well, as Kev's alluded to. The fact that he's come out and said he even surprised himself, and when he spoke to his wife Ula, he said he hasn't got the energy, like to which is mad, because you think everything about Jurgen as a manager, even as a player as well, when you look at his playing career, he's a person that exudes energy, charismatic. He's everything about what you'd think of Jurgen, joking, jolly, and all that good stuff as well. Nigel, thoughts on the madness news today, mate?
Well, sure. Like everyone else, I think a bit stunned.
Hmm.
But thinking about it, like 8 years is a long time to be managing at such a high level. He took a break before from Dortmund. I think he just knew it was time for him. So what are we supposed to do except make more noise and support the team as much as we can for the rest of the season and hope he can win a couple of trophies and sign off as even more of a legend than he already is.
It's going to be one of them boys, isn't it? And the three names that we spoke about on today's early episode this morning, obviously Jurgen. Obviously, I'm just going to quickly get up. I did see a quote from Fabrizio Romano, quote tweeting, obviously, Xabi Alonso. He's just done a press conference there. I'll get that up in a little second. And he was asked about the Liverpool's manager's job as well. Kev, the big question is, and the premise of this show as well today, was who replaces Jurgen Klopp, because it is a massive job. And let's not forget, we are Liverpool Football Club, and this is one of the biggest jobs in the whole of European football. I'd say even after the likes of, obviously, Real Madrid, we are in, as I said this morning, in the top 3 biggest clubs in the whole of European football. For me, like the pressure that it's taken upon Jurgen Klopp as well, it zapped him after so many years. Obviously, I was just watching an interview that obviously Graham Souness done. Obviously, he had open heart surgery as well, and he said at the time he couldn't have turned it down, but it didn't take too much. Obviously, it didn't play too much into his health at that time period as well, so it was a difficult moment for him. But he said no manager can ever turn this job down, really, can he, Kev? Because every
manager on the planet is going to want to manage his team. Whether they want to do it after Jurgen Klopp is the question. So United made the biggest mistake by trying to replace Fergie and not really replacing him ever. So, but the thing is, Fergie, remember Fergie was leaving Manchester. I'm kind of going to just as a comparison point. Fergie was leaving Manchester United a couple of years before he actually left. So when he was already on his way out, he left nothing there to continue on the club in a stable. He had older, aging players. They had already crumbling stadium. They had season tickets at an all-time low for then. You had he left them in not a good place, believe it, and United have never recovered from that. The difference with Jurgen Klopp is that Jurgen Klopp is still built on the team. He's still done whatever. As he said, he's not talking about what future signings was there, but he got him what he needed, what he thought was good, right for the team for the season, and to continue it on. He's also, the structure of the new facilities, at Kirby and all of that, for the AXA training centre, all of that's set up. The new stands are in place. The side is as young as it's ever been, along across the averages. We're in a good place. If you ask me, just to see, I probably would have said give it to Pep Linders next season, as he knows and understands how the club works. He understands what Klopp's philosophies are. Even in an interim kind of process for the year, if the right manager is not available. Yeah, everybody's after Alonso at the moment. But Alonso's improving in the top level for me. You'd probably rather see an Ancelotti coming in an interim or somebody like that coming in.
I'd have to step in there. I'd say not unproven, because what he's doing in the Bundesliga, mate, is absolutely amazing. And who's to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
if he does win the Bundesliga, mate? Like the thing is, when great managers arrive or they perform at the highest level, but I understand where you're coming from, like because it could collapse in the next
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Well, that's what
And
I'm saying. If he's not available, then get somebody else in the interim for now. So it has to be when the right time is available. If he's available to go at the end of the season, and you lap him up and you throw him into that place, and you give him what Klopp's left behind. But you don't. You either hand it to an interim, but you don't give it to the wrong person. I don't want it going down the same road as a Hodgson, and then into a Rodgers where he was a yes man. I don't want a yes man in there, man. I want Klopp. When you go to Liverpool or anybody goes to Liverpool or they go to the training, Klopp is the boss. So when he walks around, everybody sees him as boss, regardless of what his role is in the team. Or I don't want somebody going in there that's just that he's just a yes man again for the owners. I don't want that. I want him to be on par with the owners. I want him to challenge. But yeah, if Alonso's available, you get him. If your De Zerbi's are available, you get him. I actually like the young manager from Bournemouth that we played the other day, the Areola, is it? He's a good, these kind of guys. These still unproven and still not at the right level, but doing the right things. You're right though. If Xabi Alonso wins it this season with Bayer Leverkusen, then it's a no-brainer. To get somebody like that in, hungry and passionate and what the club needs. It's just we need it. These lads need it on the pitch. When you've got a character as Jurgen Klopp who's vocal, right in your ear all the time, right at you. You don't
got to be the right character, Danny, to come in.
Yeah, it's got to be the right character. It's got to be somebody noisy to come in. It's got to be somebody who's going to be always in your ear. It's got to be somebody like that. So, you know what? I wouldn't even look past like a Conte or something like that came in place. All of these kind of characters that will shout at you at the side of the pitch and get it going. I just don't want. I don't want a selfish manager to come in. So that's why I don't like the side of the Conte side, because he'll come into a club for 2 years, go off and leave him in the lurch. You need to replace almost like with like, and it's very hard to do that. Thomas Frank is a good shout in Brentford that can come in and do a job like that. As I said, De Zerbi, I just don't want to see. I don't want to see any Graham Potters being linked. I don't want to see any of these people being linked.
Proven winners we need. We need proven
winners. Every manager on the planet that's available right now, or even just slightly available, that's at the top of his game, is going to want this job at Liverpool.
Yeah, proven winners are so important, aren't they? Yeah. And they're very rare in football. Not every manager's a winner. Potential with Alonso, can be a winner this season.
Yeah.
He's got all the exploits, as I said this morning. His dad's a manager. The previous managers he's been under as a player himself as well. We'll get to, obviously, quickly bring up Fabrizio's comments from the press conference from Xabi Alonso today. Obviously, in the press conference for Leverkusen, he was asked, can you rule out becoming new Liverpool manager next season? Alonso replied, honestly, I don't have a direct answer. Laughs. I am happy here right now, that's for sure. And the only thing, I'm only thinking about Leverkusen. Woo! Is he coming? Yes, I think.
That doesn't rule him out at all from the job. Yeah. Normally the manager say I haven't spoken to anybody, I don't know anything, I haven't done anything. But when they say that my mindset is currently on Leverkusen, then there must be something lined up there.
I'm no body language expert, but there's certainly people that study that as a career anyway. But the fact that he laughed certainly would be open by the looks of it. Yeah. So exciting times, just Zidane's trending. Oh, he's a manager that proven winner as a player and as a winner. Would he come to Liverpool? Probably not. But if you were given, but I think he's been. I think he wouldn't take the Liverpool job, Zidane, due to the fact of the numerous interviews that I've seen of him. I think he's been on record, Zidane, speaking about the English press and his understanding of the language in England, and he does struggle. If he could learn English, that could be massively beneficial. Yeah. But even you watch Jurgen Klopp, he's been in England now for 9 years, and he can't always express what he's thinking as well. So could be. But FSG out's trending as well. Bloody hell, Everton's trending today.
Hang on a second. Why is FSG out trending?
It's social media as well. I'm just seeing on
What's that
Twitter.
got to do with
Yeah,
Klopp making his own decision and his own mindset? And he
it's
said that the owners are trying to convince him to say so. He had to shut the door because they were already looking for avenues to try and keep him at the club. So
good.
why is it FSG? I don't understand that, man.
It's going to be one of them.
Anybody hashtagging FSG out this right now for this scenario, give your heads a wobble, get off social media. Nobody's going to take any. You're going to lose all credibility as a supporter. To mention FSG the same. Think about the club and think about Klopp. FSG have done right this season by buying the people that Klopp wanted, doing the right thing, and they get slated the instant they don't buy something. Everybody goes FSG out. Klopp leaving FSG out. Why? I don't understand. Do you want an oil baron to come in and do the job, or do you want another consortium to come in and do whatever they're doing already? They're making the funds available.
Yeah.
They backclapped this season where they wanted them to. They just waited for the stand to be built. Really, that's what they were waiting at.
It's going to be one of them, Kev. I'd agree, lad. They are, and as I said in my other video this morning, they will find their tail between the legs, FSG, post-Jurgen Klopp, because they don't know how good they've got at this moment in time as an ownership group. We had Rodgers before them. That was a mess at the end of it, in all honesty. Everyone goes, oh, nearly won the league. No, Suarez nearly won the league on his own. And he was very thankful to have a very good team in front of him as well. Nigel, Kev's picked on a very important point, a very good point as well, as always, that the stylistically, in terms of the new manager to come in, it's got to be the right fit, Annie. Because you look at the players, you look at the way we are as a football club, we're not a defensive-minded team. You want to be getting the Liverpool fans, all of us want to be on the edge of our seat. And especially stylistically as well, when you look at the players that we've currently got, Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, Trent even, hopefully he signs his new deal, but that's another show for another night as well. And first of all, the manager coming in, Nigel, has got to rise heads, as Kev said. You've got to look at the manager in the eye and go, yeah, I want to play for you. And we've had in previous times, pre-Jurgen Klopp for a very long time, a couple of manager appointments where it's not been going well. It has gone a bit sour.
Yeah. You've got to look at this. We're getting a new manager, but we're also getting a complete revamp of the coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
All the coaches are leaving. So it's not only going to be one man at the helm, it's going to be the guys who are going to be working day in, day out with the players and putting them through their paces and all that. This is going to be a massive overhaul. Like when Shankly left in '74, Bob Paisley took over, but that meant Joe Fagan and Ry Evans and all those guys were still at the training ground. When Julia took over into full charge and Ry Evans left after a long time, there were still kind of some faces left there from the previous regime. Now, we did bring in others, but this is going to be absolutely massive for our club. That the complete overhaul of staff is going to, if a manager is leaving another team to come to us, it's coaches, it's fitness people, it's everything. It's going to be absolutely massive. It's going to be a complete personality change. You can't imagine anybody having a personality like Jurgen Klopp that's going to be running our club. It's going to have to change slightly. Now, in the long run, it's going to have to be a strong character. It's going to have to be a man who knows his mind, who knows how he wants to play and will play. So that's going to be a vital component. He's going to have to be strong to come in after Klopp, after what Klopp has done for our club. Klopp revolutionized. Like, you're looking at revolutions within our club. We had Shankly in 1959 that took over and did what he did. We had Paisley did it his own way. All these lads did it but they did it still kind of within Shankly's boot room. Then you had Julio took over and got rid of an awful lot of bad influences and stuff like that. Benitez did it to an extent as well. But Jurgen had to do a massive rebuilding job. And now,
as I was going to say,
sorry.
Oh, carry on. I was going to say, like, you spot on. It's going to be we've made over the last 9 years 10 steps forward, and you don't want to be taking 20 steps backwards after the next appointment from Jurgen Klopp, do you? Because we've waited 30 years to very much get where we are now in the league. In all honesty, like it could very quickly unravel.
It could, but I'm hoping it doesn't. Not under Jurgen anyway, but I'm hoping it doesn't. We have the structure we have at the moment is very good, and we've got a lot of young players coming through, like Gerald Quanta, Conor Bradley, all these guys coming through. You just hope that anybody incoming will be able to harness what's there at the moment and continue the work that Jurgen has been doing in his own way. That's what you'll be hoping for.
Yeah, big up there, matey. Quickly rattle through a couple of these comments as well. Apologies if I can't feature all your comments. Obviously, thinking of you there, Russell Orvis on the chat, mate. Very sad news about that, mate, in all honesty. But Russell's added, for me and Zaggy, hardly anything at Inter, and he has won the loads, so he is a good fit. Alonso is my favourite, but other than that, the two, I don't think anyone is a high standard as well. It won't be big up there. Panov as well. Talio, Alonso, or Zidane for me. Panel as well. Yakum Low as well. A couple of. No, I don't think it's obviously Hansi Flick for me. Obviously Champions League winner, Bundesliga winner. Obviously Nagelsmann, Bundesliga proven winner at the age of 36. I mean, that's one aspect that I think a lot of people do forget. Julian Nagelsmann obviously has managed against Liverpool as well at his time at Hoffenheim. At his time when he was in the Bundesliga, he was the new Alonso, but Alonso is the new Alonso. He's the hottest prospect. I think those two managers for me are two of the most best young managers in European football. I know it didn't turn out last year for Nagelsmann, but obviously I think that was mainly due to the off-the-field antics he was getting up to, really. I still think he's a very good coach, obviously the coach of Germany at this moment in time as well. So one to keep an eye on. But big up there. Sad news, big up there, Jay. Sad news for you, Jack, and Spider Lads also think is nailed. Jay thinks Alonso is nailed on as well. Fingers crossed, mate, that is the case. Big up there, chat. I'm hoping Alonso has already been approached and will sign at the end of the season as well. Chloe saying, big up, mate. He's every bit of what you want in a manager, and as someone who doesn't know football as well, this is a big hit and it's sad, but what a legacy. Incomparable. What a sad day for Liverpool and the Reds as well. Big up there, Chloe, Henry, yeah, Starburns. Alonso is a young Klopp, charismatic, passionate about Liverpool also, and the fans already want him. Anyone else is doomed. It is built for Xavi as well. Alonso doesn't have a direct answer on being Liverpool coach as well. It won't happen, but it's really like Unai Emery at Villa. What do you think about that one, Kev? Unai Emery, chat, let us know. He was slated in England at his time at Arsenal, but I've said for countless times that if he was still at Arsenal, I think he would have won trophies by now. He was sacked too early on in his tenure at Arsenal. As is the modern era of footballers, football fans, fandom. We're quite quick to jump on managers.
The difference with these kind of guys, Jack, is that they're managers. Well, it's Scousers, Liverpool fans in general, Scousers, Irish fans, Norwegians. That's the majority of your fan base right there, right? A lot of these people, they need a character more than just a manager. You can be really good on the pitch, but you need to have that bond with the fans, and just put your hand up in the air or whatever. That Klopp was part of it. Rodgers never had that with the fans. We appreciated what he did. Hodgson never had that with the fans. Kenny felt that the minute he came back and won a trophy with us.
Yeah.
So Rafa had it with the fans. He got in. He didn't much have much with the players, and that's where Rafa kind of failed a bit. He was a bit too over distancy from the players, but was good with the fans. So But whereas you had Klopp, he had both. He's good with the fans and he's good with the players. But you need that as a Liverpool manager. You can't just have somebody just coming in and managing the club and then keeping his distance from the whole world that is Liverpool and the whole fan base that is Liverpool. It has to be somebody that comes in and knows the club, gets it. Alonso will have that tenfold in both, because he's already adored by the fans in the club. He's one of my all-time favourite players to ever wear a Liverpool shirt. So, for me, it's a no-brainer for Liverpool to go after him. You worry, because I mean, as I said before, you worry about the situation of who follows Klopp, and again, you have to compare that to Fergie's time at Man United. See, he didn't live. I know there was a couple of randoms in the chat there a while ago, but Klopp has left something behind leaving. He's given him time to do what he's doing. So he's told the club in November to go. So it gives them a good 8-month period to get in a manager to be ready for the pre-season. To get
new
his
signings as well, Kev.
Signings, all of this, so that the new manager can say, I want this person, that, but that's come in and fill there. I'll sit down with the players and see who wants to leave, and who was more of a Klopp man and wants to kind of go. And it won't be none of the new guys, so they'll all be there and they'll all be blended in accordingly. So it's got to be the right mindset. Alonso has it, Klopp is very dramatic in the way he does stuff, and that's just an extra bit of his character. So the fans aren't really asking for that. We're just asking for the bond between the manager and the fans, and to do the job and to be a good manager on the pitch. Because if you don't have one of those or the other, it never works at Liverpool. So that's the only thing I'm kind of worried about, really, is that.
Yeah, spot on that. Oh, yeah, good lad. But yeah, no, you're spot on there, Kev. I think even a point as well. I think if anyone just tuning in out, if you just popped in, if you're on your lunch break or whatnot in work, obviously George Scamacca, obviously Liverpool's director of football operations, sporting director, is going to be ending his at his current deal. He will be no longer continuing his contract. Well, won't be getting a new contract at Liverpool. So it's a clear full house, Nigel, by the looks of it. We'll get to everyone's comments as well. And Nigel, just think about some other managers potentially that you'd like to see come in as well. Any names that you've seen in chat or managers that you've seen in the past as well. But big up there, Charlie. What is boys gutted, but the club is in great shape on and off the pitch. Let's just get behind the manager and the boys for the rest of the season. This could be a magical last season for the great man. Here, Charlie. Absolutely spot on, mate. Couldn't have said it any better. Panov, big up there, Jen. How are we, mate? Hope you're looking after yourself.
Let me say this as well, Jack. Even some of those players might want to stay around, who might leave when Klopp leaves, because they might want to see what kind of what refreshing kind of football is going to come in. Players themselves are always looking for guidance and all that. And if Klopp himself and his mindset is kind of like, look, we're on top of the league. We're in the Carabao Cup final. We're still in the FA Cup. We're in a good place to go for the Europa League. So Klopp has the team in a place right now which is really, really good. So you got to ask yourself, if he goes and wins a lot of these trophies before he leaves, and he leaves on a high, any manager is going to want to jump into that atmosphere and bring it in. He's not going to want to change too much. So you want the right guy coming in. This is the point. The right guy coming in. So Xabi will do that because he understands how the club works. It's also got to be the right guy that can coach these players, because these players always want to learn. And if Klopp's mindset is gone, for his energy levels, that can also pass on to the players, which we might have seen a bit of last season. So maybe this refreshing thing will also lift the players in a different type of way. Maybe they get to play in positions that suit them more, and they, you might see guys that haven't been done so well at club all automatically become world beaters for Liverpool, and you might find guys that are doing really well at the club in the last few years kind of drop off a bit and then maybe kind of disappear because the new style doesn't suit. So there's a lot of factors to play into this. But all I know is that Liverpool's in a great place. We've got a really young average squad. All of them are hungry to play football. Klopp's mentality has gone down through the youth level, as you can see that with the likes of Beck and Clark coming on, and young Bradley that's there in playing in right back as well. It's there. It's already instilled in them. So that next step generation already has it. So the immediate future is not the issue. It's now the transition for the next step after them as well. So we're in a good place, and Xabi Alonso would be a great show to bring in. If he's not available and he wants to do another season at let's say Liverpool, which I don't think, if Liverpool come knocking, Xabi leaves. It's Liverpool Football Club. He's in a good place at the moment managing. He'll be given time at Liverpool. Liverpool won't just bring him in for 6 months and then fire him if the results don't go well. We're not that type of club. We haven't done it, ever.
We give managers time.
We give managers time, and we do the right thing. So it's a no-brainer for Xabi if we've approached him. If we've approached him already, and it looks like we kind of have, then it's a no-brainer. And the club will want to make sure, look, we're not looking at anybody else. We only want you, and that'll mean the world to the next manager as well. And that's the way kind of Liverpool work. They'll always have people waiting in the wings in the background. Somebody who they think might fill the gap for a year or two, but until Klopp comes back. But no. But if we're going for Xavi, then it's one for the full-time future.
Yeah.
So and
exciting times. No,
we'll see you, buddy, when you're managing either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid in the Champions League in a couple of seasons.
It'll be ass. Could you imagine if it's a final between Leverkusen and Liverpool? And chat. A little demo for what's to come, hopefully. And we smashed them, by the way. We smashed Leverkusen. But big up their chat as well. You're absolute legends. You're smashing it. If you haven't already done so, drop a like on the video as well. Really just help out the channel, especially when YouTube doesn't push out your videos as well. Big up there, Jen. Hi, guys. Who do you think will come in? We've spoken about that, Jen, but there'll be plenty of shows for that, mate. Massive thank you for the super chat as well. Big up there, Henry. Up the best ever Liverpool as well. Big up there, Henry. Thought she was talking about Kev's leaned in there. She thought, Henry, he thought you were talking about him there, mate.
I'm reading I'm on my phone, lads, because my PT is still not with you.
It just said it's a good, just stunning, brilliant Liverpool, the best ever Liverpool FC.
Oh yeah, I was talking about you.
Yeah. That's what I was smiled at before. But big up there, Henry. Massive thank you for the super chat as well. So everyone's saying hello. Behave, Tom. No, that man has never stepped foot on Merseyside ever again. Anyone think could possibly be in? Nigel, I know Kev's had his threw his 2 pence in. I think he was massively disrespected, in all honesty, by Chelsea Football Club. Because the one thing, as I said this morning, Chelsea have a history of managers sacking them every season. And it was a successful period. I think post-Manchester United, Chelsea being the most successful club in England over the last 10, 20 years anyway, in terms of what they've won. And it was a strategy that worked, but it wasn't a long-term successful model, in all honesty. But hence is the new modern day football, really. But Kev, Nigel, Potter, or any other managers that might have gone under the radar for you, you'd like to see?
It's a bit soon.
It's too soon. Yeah.
First thing that came into my head was Alonso, and nothing really come in since then. Really, it's not. I'm going to go back again just for a second, just to go back to the 1st of December 1959. We appoint Paisley, or we appoint Shankly. Shankly leaves in 1974. We appoint Within. Paisley leaves in 1983, 84. We appoint from Within. Fagan leaves in 85, 86. We appoint from Within. It's just we always had a history of appointing Within. When we didn't appoint from Within, when Kenny left, and Souness took over, absolutely wrecked the club for a long time. We tried to appoint Within again with Roy Evans, and we won a trophy, but it was a disaster. Julia came in and took over on his own after that and got things back on track again a little bit. Rafa came in and won a European Cup and an FA Cup and a League Cup. And then we had a couple of until Kenny came back again. You've got it's all about mentality. These guys, it's hard to see anybody who hasn't got any kind of history with Liverpool doing anything with our club, because they just don't understand it. That's the thing. Xabi understands what went on. He played for the club in a successful enough period. We just need mentality, strong character, will play decent football, get the fans behind them. And if our fans are behind a person, there's nothing like it. We all know that. So that's it for me. It's at the moment anyway.
Yeah, it's a great point you've raised there, Kev, this afternoon, mate. It's like the point of like he was a player in one of Liverpool's greatest ever nights in our history and in European football in terms of Champions League final against Milan. Like obviously the missed penalty and then he rebounded it. That will be etched in. Well, it is etched in Liverpool history for the next 200 years. That will be getting replayed as well on the archives.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho's on the market, isn't he?
Oh no, I had my. I don't know if you see me episode from this morning, chat. No. Yeah, exactly. But it annoys him that he's never managed Liverpool. I'm pretty sure they'll release a little interview. Yeah, it's well, it's claim to fame at Anfield as he stopped Liverpool in the league or whatnot. Sorry. But yeah, he is washed as a manager, Jose. As I said, if it was the Porto Jose or if it was the Chelsea Inter Jose as well, the first time he took over Chelsea Jose.
Football was different back then, though, Jack. Yeah, it's different. They're not. All of these older managers aren't adapting. You know, this is why Steve McLaren is no an assistant manager or an assistant coach rather than a manager anymore. You know, all of these guys. So. Yeah, look, it's as we say, it's all about the mindset. It's not really about what all managers are going to come with their own tactics and they can play good football. There's about 20-25 managers you could have out there right now that are really top quality. Tudor and all of these guys that we haven't mentioned that are really top quality and top of their game at the moment and doing the right things and doing all of that. But then if that's not backed up with the personality and the ability to become part of a city, not just a football club, and the mindset of a fan base, and not just distance yourself as Mr.
I am,
I am, and so that's why I was saying, you know, that what's his name, the former Chelsea manager wouldn't work. Conte, because he is about I am, you know, it's about what he could, and you know, he might be able to do it on the pitch, but we'll end up hating him. We just look at him and just say we don't like you as a person, you know, and that's what it's all about. Because we nearly have to love every Liverpool fan is looking for a father figure, in the manager, and that's what it is, or your favorite uncle, or your favorite whatever, as well as being able to kick ass on the pitch.
Yeah, you've got to hold respect as well, though, Kev. I think managers, when you are in charge of Liverpool, this is Liverpool. Similar with Manchester United, it is. We are the two biggest clubs in English football. No matter how rivals don't like that, we are. And hence why you've had how many managers United have? About 10 now since Fergie.
But all the rivals are already starting to say that Liverpool are dusted. I'm not. The club is perfectly fine. You know, Klopp has left an unbelievable
foundation.
If anything, he's going to pass on what he's done to the new manager. To do what he's got to do in his tactics, his style. Because if he's not going to be a Liverpool manager anymore and he loves the club, he gives that new manager every tool possible to use out of his arsenal. Plus the new manager's ideas coming in as well, as long as it's the right fit for the club. You go back to all of these other managers. Chelsea's been replaced multiple times. They've had all the money in the world, and all they buy is individual players that just want to be, Instagrammers. Same as United, just bought a load of Instagrammers. Divers, the whole lot. The management done there has been awful. Arsenal for the last 20 odd years, you know, Wenger just kept going down and down with them. Great manager of his time, but he should have gone a lot sooner than what he was there for.
It was sad. That was the fact that the last 5 years of Wenger, Arsenal fans were destroying him. It was like this man has won.
I'd rather Klopp if he's not got the energy anymore, then have a broken Klopp still managing us in 2 years' time and just not being able to lift the players up. And what you've got there then is a bad cycle of players in a bad mindset and then having to move them on out. If Klopp wants to go on, man, at the peak, and we're in every competition we possibly can be in right now, and he goes on and wins a couple of them, then, you know, happy, so happy. We've a whole summer with already knowing who the next manager is, already knowing the early signings to come in, or the new stand fully open and ready to go. We're in a perfect place for a new manager to come in. We'll miss Klopp, but
we move on.
all the fans don't understand
Yeah.
how much Liverpool is in a good spot right now.
Yeah. I think even as
Klopp is leaving, it's finished. We're not Fergie. Fergie ran United. When he left, United died. When Jose left the first time from Chelsea, Chelsea pretty much died of debt. Came back a couple of times, but that took money. Liverpool aren't like that.
It's
once the mindset is there, he'll be replaced with like. We won't make the same mistake we did after Benitez leaving that time, because we've the right. At the time we've different owners then, but we've the right mindset and structure there now to be able to replace with the right guy and have the patience to do so.
Yeah, I think the one thing that United have struggled to have, and that is a Jurgen Klopp at the helm, Nigel, because as Kev's alluded to there, the football and operations of Liverpool as a whole collective, as Kev alluded to, and as we know, Liverpool are in such a great position commercially on the pitch, the stands, as Kev said, the everything is, this isn't Liverpool of 30 years ago. This is Liverpool of now and the here and the moments as well, and especially whatever happens with City. United, I think, will eventually sort it out in the next 5-10 years. It's inevitable, and I can't wait for those new seasons where it's Liverpool and it's a proper Manchester team alongside Liverpool vying for titles like it used to be anyway. Well, saying that, we haven't had that, have we, in terms of the Ferguson era? It was just Fergie. Like, we challenged once or twice, but it wasn't a consistent notion, really, Nigel. But the football and operations, as Kev's alluded to there, Nigel, is we are in such a positive position as a football club, and just let your thoughts on it. Like, it's not like, as you alluded to, when Souness and other managers in the past have taken over. How do you? I was going to say an important. Put it on my notes. We'll get straight to the players as well, lads. I'll get Kev's thoughts on this in chat. If you're a player, and apparently there's reports coming out this afternoon saying that the players were supposedly told last night. I highly doubt that. But what do you think the players, the mindset will be, Nigel, in that changing room at the minute as a player?
Let's support the manager while he's still here.
Yeah.
Let's go out and get these fans behind us and lift the roof off like never before. It's a very sorry to use the word now, but a very united mentality, if you know what I mean. It's the club as a whole is in a good place at the minute. Like you were saying, if we go back, we don't have to go back 30 years. We go back to 2009, 2010 under Hicks and Gillette. And our club nearly went bust. We were on the verge of administration and possibly being relegated down the leagues because of how we'd been mismanaged. And our current owners came in, put a plan in place, and it's worked because they didn't get the right man the first time, but they got the right man the second time, and we've just gone from strength to strength at the moment. So hopefully, and maybe Jurgen had a say in who might replace him in the end. But it's, I think the place that we're in, what players wouldn't like to come to Liverpool now at the moment? You know what I mean? If the possibility arises that we can get Xabi Alonso, who says that Hincapié doesn't come with him? Or who says that a couple of others from Leverkusen don't come with him, as well as his coaching staff, because that's going to happen. Whichever
even
manager
director of football, Nigel, potentially director of football at Leverkusen, maybe as well, or
yeah, possibly, yeah. Just like we have a structure there when we have former players. We have Kenny up at the helm there, as a non-director, if you know what I mean, and like these guys have an important place to be as well. You know what I mean? They set the tone for people who are going to come into the club and say, come on in, we'll show you what to do. We'll show you our setup and what we'd like us to do. It's like when Souness came and he was standing in the dressing room and he said to Joe Fagan, what do you want me to do? And he was told in fairly uncertain terms, that's up to you. So I think the mentality with our club will help any new manager, and it would help enormously if it was an ex-player.
Yeah,
the one we're all talking about at the moment. But we'll have to see. We don't know yet, so we'll have to see.
100%, 100%. De Zerbi overhyped from Panova as well. It's this season for Brighton's been very difficult, but he's in a difficult situation. I think similar to Klopp at Dortmund, Klopp was used to getting all of his best players pinched off him, and I think that's the case of every Brighton manager at this moment in time. Whoever replaces De Zerbi one day, they are, as a model, they are a sell to, well, buy cheap, sell high, and then they function as a football club. I think Brighton fans, if you asked them, they'd like to win the league and the Champions League, but that's not being realistic. Maybe one day, once maybe if a manager might come in for Brighton, that one day if their model is very successful.
The one thing I will say, Jack, is I fear for if rival fans can say what they say now coming up, whatever like that. But if your club hasn't played at Anfield yet this season, and you're going to have to come here now, you should be putting the fear into yourself. If you have to play us in the final, be very afraid, because you're going to see, if you think that Liverpool, even not getting out of second or third gear, are still winning games, you're going to see an angry Liverpool playing for the rest of the season, a passionate Liverpool playing. Each one of those players are going to leave their their boots on the pitch dug into somebody. That it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. The atmosphere is going to be as big as you've ever seen it at Anfield for the next 6 months.
Very driven, I can see that. Very driven Liverpool.
Yeah, and the next 6 months after that, when a new manager comes in, is going to get a massive backing. The atmosphere alone is going to could carry this team anywhere it wants to go. But if you haven't played at Anfield yet this season, be careful how you word your stuff online when you're saying it, because you'll get every member of a Liverpool fan base coming after you. With regard
just laughing at you,
thinking about how you deal with your wording around football. Because don't just come out and say if Klopp is leaving, Liverpool are finished. If you say that, you're probably under the age of 21 and really don't know too much about football and how it's structured. And it works in school, or it works, against it works on your Twitter or whatever like that. With a handful of people that just can read the screen, but it doesn't work with actual football fans and how it works, and the majority of us are football fans. So I'd be very afraid if you're coming to Anfield this season, because that wall of noise is going to hit you. It's going to deafen you.
It's going to be magical. A Liverpool ticket is going to be...
That Man City game is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Which one?
Well, the Man City game, when they come to Anfield, is going to be pretty electric.
Chelsea have to come next week.
Yeah, it's a whole footballing community though, lads, as well. Like Nigel, as well as Kev said, it is going to be a wall of noise. What does City do?
Absolutely.
And I foresee a world where Pep Guardiola walks away, because I don't think if Klopp's in that dugout, that City team doesn't perform as it has done in the previous last couple of years. And Klopp and Pep Guardiola's been on record numerous times saying this Liverpool side is because of how good Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp have pushed our side. And I think a bit of Pep's enjoyment of being City or being a manager is competitive nature. And if Klopp's no longer there, I anticipate a world in the next 2 years of Guardiola, whatever happens off the field, Nigel, where Guardiola just says in a bit, I'll go with Jurgen, I'll go and manage the Spanish national team, maybe, potentially. Could you imagine both Klopp in Germany?
Yeah, I think that's a very, very feasible point, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It could be one of them, in all honesty. Xavi said Xavi is the man. A couple of mentioned as well. Chat saying Xabi. I reckon Xabi Alonso go to Liverpool, then Real Madrid.
Remember this agenda that was going on, guys? This agenda that was going on about where's your famous atmosphere? I think you're about to find out.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to ground or if you're going away, obviously the travelling cop's always amazing, but it's like, Kev, you're a superstar on the road, aren't you, lads? It's like a famous rock band announcing their retirement at the end of it. And Jurgen used to play heavy metal football at Liverpool, but they are going to be the hottest tickets in town. If you are a Liverpool fan, or even around the world, if you go in the pub with your mates, you are witnessing the last Last Dance. If you're a basketball fan anyway, a very famous documentary on Netflix about obviously was it the Lakers or one of the very famous basketball teams of that era. The Last Dance is this season, and hopefully we do have a very good Last Dance of Jürgen.
Yeah, and if you say goodbye to him the right way, and he said it himself, don't make it about him. He wants it to be about the team because this team needs that support going ahead to whoever's going to come in. And then you show the love to the new manager, whoever comes in. You give them the opportunity. Liverpool is club that give managers opportunities. They won't come in and put the immediate. He'll have his own immediate pressure on himself. The players will have the immediate pressures on themselves to always perform and do the next thing. But there's also a transition period allowed for any team. The problem is a lot of other clubs don't give that same respect or that same that same transition period. They want it to happen and they want it to happen immediately. And sometimes that's not the right thing. It's not a thing that suits Liverpool Football Club, but it's a thing that suits clubs that don't really have
an identity.
They have expectations and pressures from sponsors, from all of these people inside. So that's a business. I support a football club. I don't support the business.
Yeah.
So, and that's the difference, man. That's what you have. The person that's going to come in is going to enjoy. Because even when Roy Hodgson was at his worst, man, he was still getting the love from Liverpool fans there. He was still feeling that he was going to get supported. And
the thing with Roy, he didn't help himself. He didn't help himself. Like the fella just sat there rubbing his face on the bench, and it's like, come on, Roy.
That's the problem. The minute he did that, that was the image that stuck with him for the rest of his life since. It was that image. But Rodgers had a good time. He had good support from the fans and stuff like that. But he was very dry. He wasn't as personal with the fans. He was always saying the right thing, or too much of the right thing, or over enveloped. Whereas you could feel Klopp meant everything that he said. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. So that needs to happen. That needs to come in. It will. If Xabi Alonso is there, World Cup winner, multiple La Liga winner, Champions League winner,
winner,
Bundesliga winner. If he goes and wins the Bundesliga with Leverkusen, then it's there. So you got to say, unproven in the Premier League as a manager, but who cares? Just bring in the right person with the right job for the right position.
100%. 100%. There's some Scaloni, Almiron as well, or the Porto coach. It's the thing, Reds, that we're very fortunate, and especially as we know, eras in football, it's like a 10, 15-year cycle, stylistically, as Kevin, Nigel already alluded to tonight. Football's ever-changing. Like, when Jose was the Porto manager, he was the fresh new thing there. He revolutionised even Wenger at his time. There's a sports science, what he done for football at that time period. It's ever so changing. From a tactical sense, obviously the 3-back formations have come back into a bit more prominence now anyway. In terms of obviously Ruben Almiron, he plays a 3-4-3 system. Alonso plays 3 at the back, obviously with his full-backs pushed on as well, with Frimpong and Grimaldo on the overlap, and certainly probably a couple of transfers to keep an eye on, because obviously Trent playing that inverted role as well. But it's going to be one of them. De Zerbi potentially as well. Poch, no. I think he will be given time at Chelsea, but give it another 12 months, he'll be getting probably sacked at Chelsea. De Zerbi definitely not. That's from big up there, lads. You expect the rival fans to come in, but we're not going to give them the attention that they crave, will we? But they love it. This is like.
But no, we can answer that. If you show them, we can answer it. I can make a fool of it.
It's what is it? Where is it? No, we're not going to give it that. This is Liverpool's channel for Liverpool fans. Exactly. Yes, Russ as well. Imagine Alonso and Edwards as a duo. It would be insane as well. Obviously, Edwards potentially, but I think Edwards might probably get a big job. Hopefully not Manchester United by Lord. Anyway, that's not the case. Big up there, G as well. G, if you're still watching, mate, or one of the mods, can you put GTV's channel link in the comments as well? Be very much appreciated. absolute legends. Keep on smashing it, lads. You're doing very well. Hello, my brothers. Big up there, mate. It's a shock news. Any club will take Klopp right now. Klopp is a legend. I think Alonso or Nagelsmann will come to Liverpool and Klopp will go. Oh, I doubt it. Well, I wouldn't. The thing in the interview, Kev, and it was very telling, he said he would never manage in England, and that's quite obvious, really. Could you ever see a world, maybe? Fresh ideas, fresh culture, new beginnings that could potentially give him potential new spark, or do you think it's going to be the German job and then...
I love people talking about going to Bayern Munich just because it's Germany and stuff like that. Eventually.
I think he'd never go Bayern. Obviously.
I don't think he'd go to Bayern, no.
Yeah.
So because he's never liked Bayern Munich as a club either. So as a dude from the Black Forest, he's definitely not a fan. So I would assume a Real Madrid. I would assume nobody in England. I would assume Real Madrid. I would assume could he do something in Italy? I don't think so. It's not his kind of cup of tea. I wouldn't see him. I don't think he would go to a club like PSG.
That's got no soul, that football club.
Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere that's not a good club. You know, Klopp could go to Benfica and become a massive manager there and take Benfica to the next 10 levels again.
Lovely bit of weather as well.
Yeah, a lovely bit of weather. So he could go. That's what Klopp will do. He'll go to these places where it'll either be Real Madrid or Barcelona, or it'll be somewhere that's just below the radar but doing quite well. But I can't see him. But more than likely, he could go for the German job. Yeah, I think that would be the most, because he mentioned the word country in his things. You know, he said, well, club and country. So he's trying to tell people, you know, whoever's in the job, give him a year or whatever. I want a year off. But he said himself he's taking that year and he's going to do whatever he goes to do. So, you know, in 2026 we'll see where he starts ending up, and yeah. So you know, good luck to him as a manager. We're going to support him right up until the end of the season. You know, hopefully we see him as lifting a trophy in his last game in Dublin, and in his last game in Anfield. You know, so which would be great to lift those trophies. Take a break from Dublin would be great as well.
The maddest one, you spot on there, and chat. The maddest one, and it's, call it good timing, or whatever you want to call it. But if it isn't Xabi Alonso, that's what I put during Nagelsmann anyway. Bundesliga winner. I think his contract literally runs out on July the 31st, and Klopp's contract, runs out, was meant to run out in 2026, but Nagelsmann's is 2024 July, and Klopp said he's leaving at the end of this season, which will be June time, May time anyway.
Well, Klopp is after cancelling this new updated contract because he said, even in his interview, my contract runs out in the end of June.
Yeah.
So what he's after doing is that he's not after putting the full pen to paper on the new contract, whatever one is the 2022, or he's asked the owners to cancel it and just say, look, can I go or whatever like that, and then of course they're going to abide by his wishes, like, you know, because he's struck a friendship up with them as well as being, you know, their manager. But
whatever Klopp says goes. Like, his word is fine.
He gets the respect from everybody, and you know he's asking for people to accept it. So let's accept it. Let's not go over spilt milk and do that. We'll accept it. We'll move on. We'll be devastated when he leaves. It'll be different, but we can't make the same mistakes as other clubs. We can't put the pressure of the new manager, of the old managers, on the new manager because of the stature of the old manager. Can't make the same mistake that other clubs have made. You got to come in and you got to look at the manager with fresh eyes and embrace whatever his vision is, and hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then you know he'll still be given time, and then it'll rotate on again to the next setup, and see how it goes. But with this squad already where it is, with the training facilities where it is, with the youth's mindset all the way down to the under 16s, playing club style football, and all of them at the ready to go and can jump in at the drop of a hat, they're in a good place to be developed further. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Owen's showing us for the audio listeners. Owen from the Cop On podcast. Make sure you head over and subscribe and follow on all the social media platforms. Owen, I'll say good morning, good evening. Disappointed to say the least. Are you, mate?
Well, Timon of Athens in Shakespeare's little-known play Alcibiades said, "Here lies a wretched corpse of wretched soul bereft," and that's pretty much how I feel these days. A wretched corpse of wretched soul bereft. Absolutely one of the darkest days in modern Liverpool history in terms of its. Of course, there's no tragedy or anything, so it could be a lot worse. But it's certainly a day, a turning point day where we all find out that Klopp, who had already made the decision, is leaving the club. It's absolutely. You've seen those videos of when they ask those kids, they tell the kids, they break the news that Bill Shankly is resigning from Liverpool, and you can see those kids' hearts break. That's how I feel. I feel like a mixture of what, really, and
yeah. Who would you like to see come in, Owen? I don't even see much up by Leverkusen. It's as the lads, Owen and, well, obviously Kevin, Nigel and Chat have put their names into the hat as well. It's going to be an extremely difficult job to do, obviously, the amount of pressure for any manager. But I think coming off the back of Jurgen Klopp, it's going to be, whoever does come in has got to have that metal about them, as Kev just alluded to. You've got to have that confidence, the belief, the inner belief. And first of all, you've got to have the quality as a manager to come in and take the ball by the horns and steer Liverpool to the top of the table as well, because whoever comes in will have one of the currently best youthful sides in the whole European football as well. But so any names in the hat or managers that you've taken a fancy to over the last couple of years that you potentially think that would do a good job?
I've been listening to your chat. I've been babysitting, but now his mum's taken over, so that's great. So I've got a bit of time. But I have been listening to all your chat, most of it anyway, in and out, in between screams. And I think I've got some vomit on my jumper here that's not mine. And it's, but anyway, of the ones who've been talking about, only Xabi Alonso. But I can tell you definitively what I do not want. And I do not want anybody who's defensive. So I hear people talking about, in looking at the odds, on that list of odds, there are some names I definitely do not want. So including that is Diego Simeone, for example, successful coach, but absolutely wrong for our club. It couldn't be worse for our club. I don't want Mourinho. I don't want Antonio Conte, because in terms of it's going to be an incredibly difficult job. I think the fans would get behind Xabi Alonso, and we're a patient club. We're a human club. We treat people with humanity. We're not Chelsea. So, we have to, stay classy, and we'll Xabi Alonso is a classy guy, and we'll give him all the respect and time that he deserves. But what they have to do, because you just got to think about the players as well. The players are used to mad gegenpressing. And so if you've got a coach who comes in who doesn't want to employ that, then he's going to quite quickly lose the dressing room. So somebody with an attacking mentality, someone who employs gegenpressing tactics, and someone who, the fans will be on board with from day one. Because, what I can't remember I don't think it was FSG who appointed Hodgson. It wasn't actually, but but an appointment where all of the fans, all of us thought, what a crock of poo appointment Roy Hodgson was from day one. We need someone who we get behind immediately. So Xabi Alonso is the immediate one that everyone's talking about. I heard somewhere that he's got some kind of release clause. I don't know if that's true.
To that one, that has been dispelled by Leverkusen's sporting director. But
okay.
The director said he won't stand in the way, basically, of it was a good piece by the very good journalist. I'll leave it in the description anyway, the link. But the sporting director did state in an interview that he wouldn't stand in the way of Xabi Alonso.
Great. Because they're the Spurs of Germany. That's what the German fans say in the Bundesliga. So to get them to the top of the league and so far ahead of Bayern Munich is quite an achievement. I don't follow the Bundesliga all that much. I do follow the stats. I'm a real stats nerd. And they've been out of this world this season. So many of their players, Boniface and all that stuff. Wow. But anyway, I don't want to talk forever, but in a nutshell, Alonso seems to be the best fit. Somebody attacking, somebody the fans get behind. Someone who can have continuation from the tactics of Jurgen Klopp as well.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, and I think closing points, spot on, lads. I think that's the very most important thing is whoever does take over stylistically, as Owen's just said, and we spoke of Nigel as well. You've got to have the right tactics as well. Got to have that inner belief. But I think an important point that Kevin, Nigel, and Owen did touch on, all of you have touched on this evening, is that you've got to have that connection to the football club, and I think it goes hand in hand with Xabi Alonso. I think from a professional point of view and professional standpoint, I don't think Liverpool would pre-announce or derail Bayer Leverkusen's title charge. But I think if Jurgen Klopp has probably been on the blower to Xabi and said, right, I'm leaving, lad. Do you want to come in last November time anyway? And he probably jumped at the opportunity, but he's got to be professional in his press conferences, Xabi. Maybe if he goes 20 points clear in the Bundesliga, he might kind of relax a bit more. But let's get behind this Liverpool team, lads. Everyone on the panel and everyone around the world. Enjoy the last couple of months of Jurgen. Maybe one day he might return. If he gets his spark back, you never know. But Liverpool, as we know, let the rivals enjoy this moment. Well, not enjoy it, because as Kev alluded to before, we are in such an amazing position as a football club. On the pitch, the squad, the infrastructure, the new stadium as well, the extra couple of thousand fans as well. A revenue point of view, we generate the money, we revenue. And yeah, long may it continue. Liverpool Football Club has been standing for 130 plus years and will be standing for another 130 years more as well. But Reds, look after yourself. A massive, 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 massive thank you to Owen, to Kevin as well. Kev from Spider LFC, Nigel, Irish Red 11 as well. I know from the cop on all social media platforms as well. But a massive thank you to everyone in the comments. There's that many of you as well. But a massive thank you to everyone that has super chatted or superstarred today in the comments as well. You're absolute legends. This is not the end. It's certainly not the end of Liverpool, as rival fans would like to hope to think. on this today. Alonso. So this is the pre-Xabi Alonso warm-up party, if you want. Jurgen, we love you, lads. We respect all your decisions that you've made at this club, and by hell, we will enjoy every last second of you, lads. As he said in his interview, he will still continue to be a Liverpool supporter after it. He'll be kicking and hopefully in his room with his mates or whatnot. If he doesn't, he'll be kicking every last ball. But Reds, up to Reds, up Jurgen Klopp. We love him to bits, and up to Xabi Alonso's as well, or whoever does come in. But it's Xabi, isn't it? But Reds, look after yourself. We'll see Xabi in about 8 months' time, and Liverpool will be coming off the back of winning the league, the Europa League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup, quad chasing Liverpool. But Reds, look after yourself, and massive thank you to all the lads on the panel this evening. And everyone, make sure you head over on all the social media platforms as well. Please do support all the lads as well. But you never walk alone, and see you a bit later on this evening.